need to talk to you about this whole thing that says everything happens for a reason. This is snow. It happened last night. But I don't think there's a deep theological reason for it. However, there is suffering now involved, and it's called shoveling. So, if you think that everything happens for a reason, well, it's a clever phrase, but not everything has to have a reason. Some things just happen, and some things maybe do have a reason. But snow isn't one of them. And if you don't like this stuff, just move south. Have you ever heard of the book of Job? Job is just before the book of Psalms, and I would not recommend thinking that this is a great book to quote from, okay? And the reason for that is that all of the dribble that is in the middle of this book, there's kind of like a bookend on each side. The first part sets up the story as to what's happening to Job and what happened to him. And at the end is God responding and kind of bringing some resolution. In the middle are three wannabe friends of Job that are desperately trying to help him with their counsel. However, in their well-intentioned efforts, they're just adding to Job's suffering, okay? So now, there's stuff that we can go through that can be tests. And remember that everything happens for a reason. Not entirely true, but I guess if under the auspice of being tested, having our faith tested, well, then maybe that is a reason. But if you go into the book of Job, you're going to see that the beginning of this is set up quite well, and it will explain why Job was suffering in the first place. Let's talk about it as we get into the book of Job. Okay, Job, first chapter, first verse. In the land of Uz there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. He owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 donkeys, and had a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all the people of the East. Now, this pretty much sounds like Job had it made. He was successful, a God-honoring person, and a well-respected man. Now, there's another character that enters the story, and whether you believe it or not, there is a real devil. Satan, Lucifer, Prince of Darkness, whatever moniker you want to choose, the devil is a real person, and he plays a major role in what happens to Job. Let's pick up in verse 6. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." "Does Job fear God for nothing?" Satan replied. "Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands, so that his flocks and herds spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then. Everything he has is in your power, but on the man himself do not lay a finger." Then Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. Now, the results of this conversation between the Lord and Satan played out in unimaginable destruction in the life of Job. In one single day, Job's daughters and sons died when a building collapsed. Rival tribes killed his servants and made off with all of his livestock. Job lost everything. Think about it. In one day, he lost everything. How did he respond to this? Listen to his words, verses 20 through 22. At this, Job got up, tore his robe, shaved his head. Then he fell to the ground in worship and said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. Now remember, Satan is the one that actually did this, but God allowed it. Yikes. Let's read a little more. On another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them to present himself before him. And the Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. And he still maintains his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason." Did you pick up on something here? God says, you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason. Remember the quote, "Everything happens for a reason"? Well, that's shot to smithereens because it says right here, without any reason. Apparently, everything doesn't have to happen for a reason. Hang on, it is getting worse. Satan doubles down on making Job suffer. Verse 4 of chapter 2, "Skin for skin," Satan replied. "A man will give all he has for his own life. But now stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said to Satan, "Very well then. He is in your hands, but you must spare his life." Satan afflicted Job with sores from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. He was in pain. He was scraping the sores. Evidently, they were boils, and he was trying to lance them. Matter of fact, Job's wife advised him to curse God and die. But Job stood his ground. Now in Job chapter 2, verse 10, this is his reply. "You were talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. Now after this, Job's 3 friends enter the picture, and for way too many chapters were lending their 2 cents, and then Job was trying to defend himself. You ever have friends like that? You know, friends who think they have wisdom to offer, and all they do is make your painful situation worse? In the last chapter of Job, God actually rebukes Job's 3 friends. More importantly, in all of the stuff that Job suffered in, once God was done bringing resolution to Job and the 3 friends, he restored Job's family. He had more children. He restored Job's fortunes, and in the end, Job had twice as much as he had before. Sometimes we can go through horrible things and never understand why. And well-intentioned people around us may even add to sorrow and frustration. In the end, God is all you've got. When you're suffering, don't waste what little energy you have left trying to figure out the reasons why. Instead, pour your efforts into deepening your connection with your Creator. Ask God to help you to endure your suffering and bring you safely through it. Who knows? You may discover a why, but don't be stalled out spiritually if you never learn why. Please learn this lesson from Job. Why? Because God wants you to thrive.
Have you ever blamed God for your problems? How do you work through being angry at God? What do you do when well-meaning people add to your suffering? How can you trust God when it's difficult to do so? What helps to build or restore trust in God? Thanks for watching. If you'd like to enjoy more by the Vineyard Church, like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Vineyard Church Iron Range. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Vineyard Church Iron Range. Or visit our website, www.ironrangevineyard.org. Lastly, subscribe to our e-newsletter to stay connected. Do so by visiting our website and clicking subscribe to our e-newsletter on the homepage.